Shalom, this is Barazal, coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This lesson is going to be titled, You Can't Love Your Family More Than the Lord. And I say Lord, I'm talking about Yahweh Shai, but also Yahweh, of course, right? Because you cannot love your family more than Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So we're going to go and start off at Luke 14 and 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life, also he cannot be my disciple. Right? Because like at the times we're in right now, like first of all, you can already see what's going on with the whole contagion that's on the planet right now, where the people that have taken the cure or so-called cure for the contagion and people that haven't taken the cure for the contagion, right? There's already a division going on, right? Some people are saying you're selfish because, you haven't taken it and you're making it worse for everyone else. And you're part of the problem, blah, 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 right? So that's an example of that, of like there's going to be a division. Now, it says right here, if you don't hate your father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life, also he cannot be my disciple. So a pre-test, you want to say, like, or a pop quiz is what's going on right now, right? Because the scriptures tell us that we can't prick our skin with any needle or anything like that, right? So that's already a rule that was of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? So he told you not to do that, right? So when you tell people, like, you come in the truth and you tell everyone these are the rules, you're not supposed to do certain things, right? You're going to see who is of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, who's following him, right? Who are his people and who are not his people. Even Israel, when I say that, because I'm talking about Israel, right? You're going to know who's a 2/3 and who's not a 2/3, right? Who the Spirit's kind of dealing with. So they could be maybe a 1/3, or maybe they're one of the hopeful elect, right? But at the end of the point is like when the charagma is being brought to the front forth, right? You're going to have to pick a side, right? And the people that are of Esau, the beast, they're going to pick the beast, which is the devil, Satan. The ones of Yahweh Shai are going to pick Yahweh Shai. So therefore, they're not going to take that charagma, right? So it comes to the point where you're supposed to love Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai more than those people in your lives, even your own life, right? Because it's going to come to a point where your life's going to be threatened, right? It's already be threatened now, but this is very small in compared when they bring the chip, right? When they bring the chip, people are going to be dying. So your life's going to be threatened. They're going to be like, well, if you don't take this, you can't eat, right? Then some brothers are going to be put in camps, and some are going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to be tested with death, right? They're like, oh, if you don't take this, we're going to kill you. And even at that point, you can't love your own life. You're like, I'm not taking it. Because that's what you're told to do, because you're being obedient, right? That's why Yahweh Shai, and I'll read it again. It says, if any man come to me and hate not his father, so that's a person that's going to be against you, and mother, and wife, and children, right? Because it says children because, like, depending on the age of your kids, if your kids are older, maybe they'll take, they'll take the, because I'm talking about the end, they're going to take the charagma, which is the MOTB. So they're going to take it, right? So at a point, you're going to look at them as like, you're against me because you took the mark. So you're against me, right? And I'm against you, right? And let's say if they're little children, like, because how you look at the word, right? If they're like young, like infants, right? And your woman's with them and, she took them and she put the chip in them. At the same time, you can't deal with them anymore because, hey, they are of the beast. So it doesn't matter whether they're young or old, right? If that happens, then you know which side they're on. So you have to hate them because they're against Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So therefore, they're against you. It's just that simple, right? And sisters and his own life, also he cannot be my disciple. Because to be a disciple of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you have to love him. And to love him, you are obedient unto him. When he tells you to do something, you do it. Period. Right? There's no, what about this and what about that? There's no, he tells you to do this, you do it. Right? Because disciple means discipline. That's where the word comes from, discipline. So you have to be disciplined to be a disciple. And you have to have control over yourself to be to be a disciple, right? To gain control over yourself and your emotions, you're disciplined. And only disciples of Yahweh Shem Yahshai can do that, right? Verse 27, and whosoever doth not bear his cross, right, and come after me cannot be my disciple, right? Just like Yahushua bared his cross when he walked and he was crucified for all the sins he committed, and also he took the sins upon that Israel has committed upon himself. You're going to have to do that for yourself. The sins that you committed in this life and your past lives. So when you're when you're enduring, because things are going to get hotter, but especially right now, we can talk about right now, when you're going through your things, you have to bear your cross. You just have to take it and bear it and keep walking, just like Yahushua did, right? To the end. Whether your end is you die, or whether the end is you get beamed up. But regardless, if you die, you still get beamed up anyways, right? But he said you cannot be his disciple if you don't do that, because that's what he did. Because we're supposed to walk in his footsteps. Whatever he did, we have to do it. Because the servant is not greater than the master, and we're servants, and he's the master, right? So I'm gonna try not to talk as much, because you can get heated, but you're just in the spirit, right? Because we are in it right now. If you don't understand that you're in it, then I don't know. You need to pray to Yahweh Shem Yahshai to give you more spiritual discernment and spiritual awareness, right? Luke 21:15, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist, right? So he's going to put the words in your mouth to speak that people won't be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? You know what? Let's just go into the word gainsay, because I'm going to try and explain it, but let's just see what it has here. Because sometimes the blue letter goes off. Okay, there you go. To speak against. So yeah, pretty simple, straight to the point. So he's going to give you the words that people won't be able to speak against what you say. They can't resist it. They can't be like, oh, well, what about this? You're just going to say it and that's it. There's yeah, you're right. It's just like, they won't be able to shake it, We're going to read up to 17. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolk and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death, just like I was just saying, right? So some of you are going to die. But just because you die in this, because remember, your spirit and your flesh are two different things. You are your spirit. Your flesh is just something you're trapped in. It's just a car you're using. It's just a car you're using. You're going to get a car that's what's the word I'm looking for? Well, immortal, right? Incorruptible. So even if you die, you're coming back. He's going to bring you back into a body or a vehicle that can never die, that can never be broken down, that can never corrupt, right? But that's why you have to, that's why he says right here, he says, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. So they're gonna cause you to be put to death, right? Brethren, parents, etc. So when you're in that state, when they're even threatening your life, you have to love Yahweh Shem Yahshai, because whatever they're trying to make you do is against what Yahushua told you to do, right? And if you're a disciple, you're going to see that. And you're like, well, I don't care. Even if you kill me, I'm not taking this charagma. So I don't care. Do what you have to do. That's it, right? And then if you die, that's okay, because Yahushua is going to bring you back. He's going to bring you back. You're going to be put into, like I said, put into a incorruptible body. So right now we're going to go to Matthew. Because those feelings you get of fear, that's just the flesh, right? It's just the flesh. When your family's saying, when your family gets emotional and demons jump on them and you get emotional and try to make you feel emotional like them, because the demon will jump on you and see how you react to it, you have to understand that, right? That's where you have to always focus on Yahushai, because if you focus on Yahushai, you will see what's going on and you'll be able to shake it off, right? You focus on him, whether going to the scriptures, listen to the scriptures, watching a video, you'll be able to see it. Okay? That's why you have to love him. You always cleave onto him. Just like a woman cleaves onto her man, if she truly loves him, she'll always cleave onto him. It's the same thing. That's why it says we are, Yahushua is the bridegroom and we are the brides. The brides are supposed to cleave onto their husband. Okay? And then he'll guide you. The husband will guide that bride, that woman, in the right direction because he's the man. Right? Just like with our relationship with our women, just like our relationship with Yahushua. Just like Yahushua's relationship with his father, with Yahweh, with his father. Same thing. When he came back on the planet, he just listened to what his dad told him to. He cleaved onto his father. That's why he was perfect. So we are supposed to be, perfect like Yahushua. So what he did, we have to do. He was a disciple unto his father, so we have to be a disciple unto him. Right? So now we're at Matthew 10:35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Right? And you'll see that. I can speak from experience that this is happening to me. But that's okay. Because the scriptures tell you it's going to happen. So if you already know something's going to happen, you shouldn't get caught off guard. You shouldn't get emotional. You should see it. Like, oh, okay. And if you do feel some type of emotion, you shake it off. Because the scriptures already told you it's going to happen. Right? You got the cheat codes to the game of life. You already know what's going to happen before it happens. So through that, you gain more control, right? More discipline, more patience, right? You're just laughing when things happen. You're like, oh, all right. I already knew it was going to happen, right? And that's through the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? Verse 37, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. So in verse 39, it says that he that findeth his life shall lose it, right? So like, there's two ways that can go. You can try to find your life in the beast, right? So people are going to start bugging out. They're like, oh, I gotta take the cure for the contagion. And then after that, it's like, I got to take that Karagma, the MOTB, right? Because I got to pay my bills. I got to eat. So they're trying to obtain their life, because that's what it means by find. Find means like obtain. So they're trying to obtain their life. So for the period of time, they take it, and then things are good. They can pay their bills, whatever, right? But it says he that findeth his life shall lose it. So then eventually they're going to die because Yahushua is going to come and kill them, right? But if you do it in Yahushua, like I just read earlier, you try to find your life. Find your life is cleave unto Yahushua. That's how you obtain your life. So you cleave onto him, but you might also die too, because you might also be put to death. So you might lose your life too. So that can happen too. But in Yahushua, it's different. Because we could keep reading. It says, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. So if you lose your life for the sake of Yahushua, you'll find your life. Because then you'll obtain your life again. Because like I said, he'll bring you back. But if you lose your life in the beast, you won't find your life again because you're dead. You'll only come back in the kingdom as a child through one of the elect, right? You have to grow up in shamefaced because you knew what you did. You weren't faithful to the end, right? Because you didn't love Yahushua more than your own life. You loved your life more than Yahushua, right? So now we're going to go to Ecclesiasticus 6 and 13. Ecclesiasticus 6 and 13. Separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. So basically be aware of who you're around, right? Like I said, you have to use spiritual discernment, have spiritual awareness, see who you're around, see if this person is the right person to be around, right? Someone has demons on them. You shouldn't be around that person, right? Sometimes you might have to move out of your house because maybe your house is just too wicked. That happens sometimes. You're going to have to move out. Whatever it is, you shouldn't be afraid because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to take care of you anyways. Wherever you do, if you're doing what he's telling you to do, doing like basically following the scriptures, you'll be fine because you're being obedient. You're being disciplined, right? So you have to be aware who's around you. A faithful friend is a strong defense. And he that hath found such an one hath found a treasure. So that can be a brother, right? That you always had your back, you always have his back. And on top of it, the main faithful friend is Yahweh Shai, right? Because he is a strong defense. So it says, and he that hath found such and one hath found a treasure. And Yahweh Shai is a treasure unto us, right? With him, we can do anything. We're good. No matter what happens, we're good. Whether we die, we still don't die. So we're good. You just have to be obedient. Just love him. Love him and he'll show you the way. Because he is the way. He's the path. He is the door. He is the mediator. He's the intercessor. He's the word. He's the first fruit. Right? So love him. You love him, you're good. You're good. Right? And you'll start feeding you more. You'll start seeing more. And then when you see more, you don't worry as more. People look at you, you're like, oh, why is this guy not freaking out? Why is he so calm? Yeah, because I can see. You guys can't see. That's why you're bugging out. Right? Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. Right? Okay, so now we're going to go to the last one. Try not to talk as much, but Ecclesiasticus 13 and 17. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb? No, the wolf is a predator, the lamb is prey, right? They don't have no fellowship. So the sinner with the godly, same thing. Sinner is contrary to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? The godly is with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So they have no fellowship. What agreement is there between the hyena and the dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? There is no peace between the rich and the poor, right? And the hyena and the dog have no agreement. As a wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor, right? So whoever is a wolf in your life, no matter what, you can't be friends with them. That's why you have to love Yahweh Shai, right? You have to understand there's going to be a separation, right? They're going to be at variance. They're going to be contrary to you. And they're contrary to you because Yahweh Shai is dealing with you, right? So you just have to understand that. So when it happens, don't freak out. Just understand that's going to happen and just move in the spirit. So I hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I'd like to close out by saying Ka Halal Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Racha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone and to the hopeful elect pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Death and destruction to his wicked kingdom, and 2/3 as well. Kwam Yasharallah, Abad Babal, Shalom.